Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Liverpool preview show. Welcome back to Kopish. And this one is for Toulouse versus Liverpool in the Europa League. Got my boy Ram with me for this one. What's going on, bro?
I'm good, bro. Could be better. I wish we'd be sitting second in the league, but Liverpool in it is what it is. Now we go.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, Premier League took a bit of a hit at the weekend. Probably the only real negative we've had in the Premier League so far, because I don't count the Tottenham one. I know it sounds really stupid and it sounds a little delusional to say it, but I don't think I feel undefeated in the Premier League, even though the stats don't say so. That Tottenham game was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah. I think the Luton game is the only real problem we've had so far. That's our fault as a team, so to speak. I think everything else has been pretty positive, pretty good.
100.
So yeah, we took our real first big disappointment with that draw at Luton. The only thing that's going to make that draw at Luton feel any better is if Arsenal or Man City draw at Luton. That will literally be the only thing that will make that draw feel half decent. Other than that, it's a disaster.
Or they drop points at teams where we gain points, if you get what I mean. So like like if Forest could like beat City, but we beat Forest, that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, Europa League, so far so good. This win qualifies us for the next round and qualifies us top of the group. And I mean, I know mathematically they'll still be like, depending on what the other results are, but I believe this win tops the group. I can't really see how the others don't take points off each other in the next couple of games. So, you know, and Toulouse are the best team in our group. So beating them twice, pretty much, I think that does solidify, you know, us going through. And then it gives Klopp a bit of playroom.
I think mathematically we can finish top of the league, top of the group, no matter what. If we beat Toulouse and Union lose against Lask, and they're playing in Austria as well, so there's a possibility. It is a real possibility that if we do get the dub tomorrow, we end up topping the group. So that only bodes better for the next couple of games, because basically we could play our youth team out and it still doesn't affect anything that's going to happen with our group. So yeah, man, we need to take this game seriously.
Yeah, we do. And I think the other thing that will be quite good about is maybe Klopp will actually rotate, because there won't be 2.5 million per win like there is in the Champions League lying over our head, where you can tell we always want the win for the money. I think that was apparent way too many times in the past where we'd already qualified and we're still playing a strong team because, you know, we want to get that W and get that extra money from the Champions League. Unfortunately, Europa League doesn't carry that level of financial gain. So it's not that type of situation. So hopefully the boys will be given a chance, like the real young kids, you know what I mean, in the squad, maybe get them a little bit of European experience, etc. So yeah, we got to get, this is a big one. This is probably the last big game in the group, hopefully, and then we can, you know, go easy in the next two. So that being said, I know Toulouse aren't doing too well at the moment. But how do you actually feel going into this one?
I still feel relatively confident, you know. It's a game that we should be winning on paper. Toulouse, I think we said it before the stream started, they're not good at this moment. I think they're 14th or 15th in their respective leagues. So that don't mean we take it as easy as we did against Luton and be complacent, but it's still, we expect our team to win. Even with our second team, I still expect us to win, in my opinion. Nothing changes, you know. If we win today and finish top of the group, it takes out one extra game that we don't need to focus on, and we could focus on the league or the League Cup as well. So look, I wanna go into every game wanting to win, and this is no different for me. And obviously, we've had some couple of injuries. Obviously, Robbo's still out. I heard Gravenberch is out. Virgil might be out as well. But again, our team is still good enough to win. I have no
Virgil.
worries.
This is
And
new.
Virgil is ill. He's ill.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't travel. I don't think, if I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, which is a good thing because I don't want the big boys traveling if they don't need to. So
Yeah.
that's if he's resting and he didn't travel, then that's all good.
Yeah.
But no, I agree.
CJ's out as well. CJ's out with a minor hamstring, so he'll be back after internationals.
Is that still the same injury that he picked up in the League Cup game? Is it?
I think so. So I think they're being cautious with him, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what Klopp said. So yeah, I'm happy with that. If they want to keep him fit as possible for the rest of the season, then cool. Take him out of the fire line for the next couple of games.
Yeah, definitely. So that being said, what would you go with for your lineup for tomorrow? How strong would you go with your lineup? We'll start with the defense and the keeper. How would you run that?
Well, firstly, if we're going to go and goal, I think Queeve has been the mainstay in terms of the Europa and Cup games. So there's no changes there. I think Quivini is going to start as our goalkeeper. In terms of centre backs, I'll start Matip because he didn't play against Luton, and I'd start Konsa as well. I'll start them both, and then at right back I'll play Gomez, and at left back I'll play Luke Chambers. Or maybe because Tsimikas didn't play, we might play Tsimikas, but either one of those two might be coming in. I don't want to see Joe Gomez at right back anymore. It was just a stupid decision that he made, in my opinion. The guy hasn't played right back since 2015, and yet he hasn't played at left back since 2015, and he's playing left back against Luton. It is what it is. So yeah, it's tough.
But funny thing is, though, bro, I don't know if you saw the reaction we did after the game. I don't think Gomez was in any way, shape, or form at fault or a problem in the Luton game. Funny enough, so I understand people not thinking it's a good idea to play him at left back, but when you look at the fact that he becomes the first centre back on the invert, and we conceded the goal when he was off the pitch, I don't think him at left back was necessarily a problem, if I'm being honest with you.
I wouldn't say it's a problem. I'll say it was. He didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't do anything that was outstanding, if you get what I mean. One thing that we lacked in that game was width. And with our fullbacks, especially at left back, and we see it with the likes of Robertson going on the left-hand side, we lacked a little bit of width.
We did.
And I don't think he did anything wrong, but it was more of our attacking play was so much more limited when you play compared to someone who's naturally left-footed. So that's the way I see it.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to say that what Klopp did is great playing Joey at left back. Obviously, he brought Tsimikas on from a tactical point of view with about half an hour to go because he realised that we did need the width. Do you not think, though, the problem was more Diaz's unavailability due to the horrible circumstances and Jota playing left, rather than it being Joey at left back? Because if we'd have had our natural wide player, maybe we would have had the width from that player, which would have then meant it wasn't an issue. We're crying for Joey to be providing the width, but really and truthfully, the winger should provide the width. But unfortunately, Jota's not a winger, and he's never going to hug the byline or be whipping in crosses or what have you. If Diaz is playing, do you not think Joey at left back's all right? Because Diaz provides that width.
Possibly, but again, one thing we lack was a little bit of creativity on the left-hand side. And Diaz being there would have helped a lot. But getting those balls from the left-hand side into the box pause is it's something that we lacked in that game. And I think I'd rather us play someone who's naturally left-footed and doesn't change the system as much compared to someone who's arguably a better defender, but is gonna change the system in some way. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Because the only thing that's making me think that is that I've been thinking about since the game is just based on the fact that you look at the Everton game and Diaz absolutely destroyed Luke. Young.
Ashley Young, yeah.
Ashley Young, so got him sent off, provided that width. The penalty and a lot of the opportunities came from him getting to the byline, pulling it back, creating from that wide area. We ripped Everton to pieces in that regard. And then you look at the scenario against Luton and you're like, Diaz does that to Luton as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm thinking, I think maybe Klopp underestimated the width that Jota would provide. But I don't actually think it's that big of a deal, Joe, being at left back. If Diaz is playing and the width is coming from Diaz, do you get what I mean? So I could be wrong, but I'd be very interested to see how it would work if Diaz was playing left wing with Joey at left back, them creating that three at the back when we go into the inverted role, because I do like the idea of having someone who's a better defender at left back. And I'm not saying Tsimikas is a bad defender, but we know Robertson is a lot better at defending than Tsimikas. I don't mind the idea of Joey being at left back to be a better defensive cover if the width is still being provided by Diaz. Do you get what I mean? So I still think there's room to see if that can work again in a different game. But obviously, I understand people's frustrations with how the lack of width happened at Luton. So, and I mean, it kind of plays into Jota and Nunes playing together is also a bit of a funny one because they're both quality players, but they do occupy the same space. And you can see they almost make the same runs. And it's like, maybe them two playing together isn't exactly ideal for that reason either. So it's like, there's a few, I mean, Gakpo possibly for the left, but obviously we'll get into that when we get up to the strikers. So midfield then, how would you go for midfield?
Midfield, it would be, because McAllister's suspended for Brentford, I'll play him.
In the DM role?
No, he's playing. He's playing. I don't know where he's going to play. Drifty, we talked about this the other day. I don't want to see him at DM no more. I'm tired of it. You know,
neither do I.
A DM has to have some sort of streak about him where he's aggressive and knows how to tackle. And I said this. I texted you this. He's intelligent. He can read the game, but my man can't tackle. It's like an art to tackle, and he can't do it. He does it half-heartedly. He's the kind of player that likes to sort of pickpocket the ball. But we don't need a pickpocketer as a DM. We need someone that could just, clart someone, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. You know, he reminds me of badly, even though I think he is still slightly better at tackling. He reminds me badly of Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Where you're really like shocked at it because of how good of a player he is, but you're like, right, this guy just can't tackle. Like he just can't. I mean, Paul Scholes retired at 37 and he never put in a good tackle in his whole career. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, he just couldn't tackle, bro.
Scholes was more like the extreme version of McAllister, where when he tackled, he would actually try and injure man. Where McAllister's like, I'm going to try and take the ball off you. I'm going to try and steal it. But he doesn't steal it. He doesn't get any of the ball or the man. He gets the ball, but doesn't get the man as well, and just doesn't tackle properly. And that's why I can't see him as a DM. I can hear him as an 8, but not as a DM. And I'll probably get some minutes onto Endo. Get some minutes into him because, he hasn't played a lot. And let's get him into the rhythm of things, He has to get him ready for Brentford. So I'll probably play a midfield three of Endo, McAllister, and possibly I'll play Elliott in midfield. Yeah, that'll be my midfield three.
It's funny because I've seen a couple of big up Aaron in the chat who's saying give McAllister a rest as well as Sobbo. I definitely believe Sobbo needs a rest.
Yeah.
I've never thought about this, but let's just dig into this quickly. Or delve into this quickly, should I say. Especially at the professional level, the elite level of sport. How much time off is too much time off? Because you have to remember there's rhythm, there's the way your body feels. I know a lot of the time we're like, fatigue. We say it a lot with certain players. Dominic's going into that category a bit now, like, wow, we're running him into the ground like he's playing a lot.
Yeah.
But how much rest is too much rest when you still want your player to perform at the highest level?
For me, anything between 1.5 weeks and 2 weeks, that's when you're like, nah, you're not playing, So say there's 3 games a week, yeah? And they don't play 3 games, at least one of the 3 games, then that means, that's too much rest, if you get what I mean. Say we play, I don't know, we play Luton on Sunday, we play Toulouse tomorrow, and we play Brentford on Sunday as well. I don't know how we're not live in that game as well, which bugs me out a little bit. But say we have a player that hasn't played any of those 3 games, then it's a problem. That's why that's too much rest, or they're just not playing, you know? So they have to play one of those 3 games for me. That's one of those 3 games minimum. Then they're not rested. They're actually rotated. Rested is like not playing 2 games. 3 games is a little bit too much.
Okay. So you would say a week is more than a week is too long off during the season.
Yeah. More than a week or a week and a half. Yeah, it's too much.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from on that one. I probably would agree, because I think a lot of the time we keep thinking about the fitness of the player in terms of his tiredness, but we keep forgetting that elite athletes actually have to have rhythm within their body. Otherwise, sometimes rest can actually give you an injury. Like if you just randomly said have a week off and you don't even train and then come back and play, the player would actually get injured.
100%. And the one thing that I'd say is that if I was going to say something like what is par in terms of playing on a regular basis, a week, 2 games a week. So from Saturday to the next Saturday, or Saturday to the next Sunday, that is par. Anything over that, then it's just a little bit too much. And we're starting to get towards the too much area because we play League Cup and we play Europa League as well. So anything above that is like, that's a bit too much. Or anything below the 2 games or one of those 2 games, then it's like, that's too much rest, if you get what I mean. And the only reason why I say this is because if everyone has an equal amount of game time or has enough game time within one another, it makes us better. Because I guarantee you the one thing that Arsenal struggled on last season, especially at the back end of the season, playing once a week, all the fringe players didn't have enough game time or enough sharpness to come in and do the job. Once they got out of Europa, when certain players had to step up in the games where someone had a knock or someone was injured, they didn't step up because they lacked that sharpness. And that's why we say it's always good for players to come in or players to play 3 times a week, because it just makes them better. It makes the rhythm better, and it gives them that feeling of wanting to win games on a regular basis. It's like a drug. But
I hear you. I hear you. I definitely think that it's something we probably don't think about enough. But this conversation is kind of probably maybe even give people a bit of a realization they didn't think about. It's true. You have to keep rhythm as a professional. It's not just about. I would probably say it's better to maybe even play all 3 games and go light in training in between, rather than to necessarily not play at all, because sometimes the training can be what fatigues you more than the game itself. Especially with like pre-season when we're doing them triple sessions, it's like that's tiring you out more than playing in the game. Do you know what I mean?
Even if you think about it mentally and like I'm gonna go far beyond it, but like a hormonal basis, the buzz of winning football matches, it will make you want to go on and do more, especially for the elite players. Like that is dopamine in it. Once you win a game, you get such a dopamine rush that you want it again and again and again. And that's what these players might be wanting. And that's why these players want to be playing on a regular basis, and why the fringe players should be getting game time at some point. It just makes us all better, you know?
It
big up Sadiq, man. Big up Sadiq.
So are you, but based on all that, are you still playing McAllister in midfield in this game?
Yeah, I mean, because he's not playing on Sunday, might as well play him. You know, he's not going to play on Sunday, so might as well get some game time in him before he leaves. You know, and look, at the end of the day, he's a quality player. Why do you want to not play someone who's readily available and is a quality player, and play him in a different position where it might be his better position and help us win this game?
All right, let me ask you this then, bro. You play McAllister in the 8. All of a sudden, he feels at home again. Like you do when you get on from holiday and you finally get back in your own bed and you're like, oh my days, I can actually get a proper sleep. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I get that.
How'd you put him back in the 6 the following game? when he realizes what it feels like to play back in his comfortable role again.
Because hopefully, man like Endo will have a boss game as well, and we can put him back in the 6. We can put him in the 6 and play McAllister in the 8, and hopefully not put that much pressure on Gravenberch when he comes back.
Yeah, I hear that.
I think that's something that we should do, because at the end of the day, when I thought we were getting Gravenberch and Klopp said he wasn't going to play him as a 6, I was like, cool, rotation for McAllister and Szoboszlai. That's brilliant. That's what I thought in the first place. And look, we brought Endo as a 6, so let him play there. Let him see what he's about. If he's good to go there, we get him to go there. But don't overplay him. Then hopefully in certain games we could play McAllister there. Certain games, from a tactical standpoint. So that's the way I see it, man. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I think it is now or never for Endo. If I'm being honest with you, like what would be really crazy is if we roll into that Brentford game and it's still not Endo as the DM. If Endo's not DM against Brentford, Klopp's not feeling him.
Yeah, and that's a big.
It's literally that simple, isn't it?
And that's a big question mark on Jurgen Klopp's decision making. This is the guy that you backed. This is the guy you told the board to go and get. This is your go-to guy, and you're not playing him. Like, what's the point? Are you just making? It's like a waste of a space, waste of an international or homegrown space, as Kyle would like to say. It's like, what's the point of bringing him in and not playing him when you vouched for the guy and said that he's gonna be an important part of the team? So that's why.
Could it be that even though all the reviews on the TV said it was a really good TV, now you've got it at home, you're like, I don't really know what the reviews are talking about. This TV is just not that good. I wish I got a different TV.
Well, then the thing is, right, Klopp was the kind of man that said, he's going to be my go-to man, my utility player, the guy that I can rely on in certain games. And it's not almost like a TV. He's like a guy that you vouch for. Like, he is literally a guy that you vouch for. You see those old mafia films where you're like the Don comes up to you and be like, yeah, this is the guy I vouch for him, all that kind of stuff. And then he comes up and then he does some decent stuff, but also some bad stuff. Your neck's going to be in the firing line, not his, you know? So
no, I hear that. I hear that. But I mean, we do see all the time that managers do get players in, and once they've actually got the player in their actual team, they're like, oh, you're not quite as good as I thought you looked on TV or in the other team or whatever. It can happen. It can happen. That is always the risks of transfers. You just never know whether the player's going to be good enough for your team or if he's actually going to be in real life like what you see when you watch him. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. But if Klopp doesn't play him against Brentford, that would be mad. Are you playing him in this game then, Endo?
Yeah. Get some minutes into his game. Get him ready for Brentford on Sunday. That's the way I see it.
Even though it's a risk of injury, where what if something happens to Endo, then the Brentford game becomes a bit of a madness?
Take him off at 60 minutes.
I mean, he could get injured before 60 minutes.
Nah, bro. I think, look, at the end of the day, we don't have anyone else that could play there. CJ, like I said, has a minor hamstring injury. Who else could really play then? I really do not want to play Szoboszlai in this game. I don't think he needs to play.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unless we do something real crazy. And I just thought of it right now. We play Matip at centre back and bring Konate in as the other centre back. Play Matip in as a DM and put Konate as a centre back.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that. No,
he won't do that. He won't do that.
He played Morton or somebody before he brought Matip into midfield.
Oh yeah, we have got Tyler Morton. People, maybe, but again, I like to see Endo there, and hopefully, God willingly, he doesn't get injured. So yeah,
of course. So you go McAllister, Endo, and then who would be your other midfielder?
Harvey Elliott.
Oh yeah, you said yeah, Elliott. Yeah, Elliott deserves to play again. Elliott's been really good in my opinion in the Europa League. I know he's been a lot better off the bench in that Premier League games, but I think he's definitely proving his worth in the cup games. I think there's only been one game to recollection that he started that I think he wasn't that good in. I think for the majority of the games he started, he's been good. He definitely deserves to play. And then who you going with your front three, with your strike force?
Oh, this is hard. This is hard. Who do we have? Gakpo for one is definitely playing. 100%. He's playing. I don't. Do I play Luis Diaz? Do I play Luis Diaz?
That's a tough decision just based on his mental as well as
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
know.
thinking, man. Drift, you gotta help me out here, man. You gotta help me out. I really do. I'm contemplating playing Diaz or Nunes. I don't know if Doak is available. If Doak is available, then 100% put him in for the right wing position. But I'll say Diaz. I'll say Diaz for rhythm.
The thing is, yeah, that's a good point. From Sean there that Diaz does need to get a little bit of rhythm back into his game, but the good thing about Diaz isn't really the type of player, in my opinion, that needs a lot of time to get back his rhythm. I think you can. Would I play Diaz? But then again, I think Diaz is probably more important for the Brentford game than he is for this game. So
But he
maybe
hasn't played a lot.
I'd maybe give Diaz 20 minutes towards the end of the game to put a bit of rhythm into him. But would I start him? I don't. See, this is the little bit of the problem with Jones.
Would you play Darwin?
I wouldn't. I think Darwin's played a lot of football in the last few games. I'd start Gakpo down the middle for this one. I think Gakpo's the one who needs. But then I'm thinking, could we play Gakpo left to give Diaz a little bit of getting ready more for the Brentford game, and then bring Diaz on with like maybe 20 minutes to go and start Gakpo left. But if Gakpo starts left, then one of Jota or Nunes is going to play. I think both probably maybe need a bit of a rest because both of them have played quite a lot of football so far.
Yeah.
And then again, that begs the question, what do we actually do? Because there's a part of me thinking it should maybe be Elliott playing wide right. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I don't want Salah to really start this game. And then I'm thinking Gravenberch in midfield. I think Grav probably needs...
ain't fit. He's not fit.
Is he not fit?
He hasn't travelled with us.
What's happened to him?
I think he's got I can't remember what they said, but he has an injury. Gravenberch has a slight niggle with the knee, could be back for Brentford, but not available for Toulouse. So yeah.
Then it's gonna have to be Doak then, even though he hasn't played much football at all. But I don't want to start Salah. I think he's gonna play Salah though. I do. I genuinely think he's gonna play Salah, especially that if we win this game, we're qualified. I reckon he's gonna play.
Yeah, I agree. I think. No, but apparently Ben Doak is available, and I think given the fact that we've already won all three of our games, I think Ben Doak might come back in. And I think because Salah's also played a lot of games as well, he needs a couple of games out, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but he'll probably come on. He'll probably come on and do a little thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
So your front three would be
Doak, Gakpo, and Diaz.
Okay. Mine would be Gakpo, Jota, Doak. I'd play Gakpo left wing.
You play Gakpo and okay, I hear it. I
play Gakpo left wing. I think we have to get used to the idea that Gakpo may have to fill in left wing, and we should maybe get him a bit more comfortable at playing in that role again because he hasn't played it for so long.
Yeah.
Start getting Gakpo used to playing in what is actually his position, which is so strange. Like as a Liverpool fan base, it's almost like because we've never seen it, we've totally forgotten that when we bought him, that was where he played. So
yeah, 100%.
I would probably, you know what I mean? I would probably say I like the idea of him maybe playing there in a game that, you know, isn't detrimental, should I say. I know we want the win, we need the win at the same time. It's not detrimental. So it's like Brentford would be a lot more of a disaster if it didn't work than Toulouse. So I would say try Gakpo against Toulouse, see what happens, and then we can go.
Yeah. 100%, man. I think with I get where you're coming from with playing Gakpo as a left winger, because I feel as though now this new role that Salah's almost doing, playing as more of a creative winger than an actual inside forward / goal scorer, and the fact that our strikers are starting to become more goal scorers than actually creators, like before when Bobby Firmino were here. I think now we need to start to transition from those kind of things. And do you know what? It also helps out. It helps out play people like Luis Diaz, and also allows our midfielders to become a little bit more creative and join the attack. And it only makes us more potent up front. And I think that's something that we need to look at going forward, because it just makes us better. Because the one thing we even though the team that we had was incredible, the one thing that we lacked was sort of creativity and goal scorers in midfield, and that is something that we need to have, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So we finalized with Kelleher in goal. Then you went Joey at right back. You went Chambers at left back, and was it Matip and Konza you put at centre back, right?
Yeah. Matip and Kwanzaa's playing at centre back, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree with that. Other than maybe playing Trent at right back and then getting the lead and then bringing on Gomez.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Because I'm just trying to think about not having too much change in a game that's still going to be difficult because it's away from home. So I'm still trying to, because what you got to remember as well is Klopp likes to do this, and I do understand it as well. Have at least one of the captain or the vice captain playing as well, no matter what the scenario is. So I kind of understand maybe getting Trent in there as well. And then like trying to getting the lead, then bringing on Joey maybe for some stability to just see the game out maybe. So that's the only reason why I'm a little bit thinking, could Trent maybe play the first 45, get in the lead and have that creativity and then maybe change it? I agree with you in the midfield, Endo, McAllister, especially with McAllister being suspended. And then that's the only thing I would maybe consider Elliott at right wing rather than right-sided 8. But if we're going to go with Doak, I'm not bothered if he plays there either. So, we pretty much, I think we just one or two different players, maybe we've pretty much got the same team that we'd go with. I mean, what do you think the score will be, bro?
I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet.
Not a chance.
Even though I would like to think that we would, but nah. Realistically, I think because we're away from home and the team is almost very much changed, we're going to concede a couple of goals. Well, hopefully one goal. I think not a couple of goals, one goal. I think we will go on to win this game 2-1, in my opinion. I think we'll win. I think we'll be winning 2-0. They'll get a consolation goal and make it a little bit difficult for us in the end, but we'll hold on. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you stole my one as well. I do think that's most likely what I would have gone with as well, 2-1. We're definitely going to concede a goal, especially to a team that's playing home. 100% we're going to concede a goal. It just seems to be our thing, if I'm being honest. Like I almost feel like it's like a ritual now, or like a tradition. Like, make sure you let him go.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And look, seeing as though we mentioned Ben Doak, I mean, we gave our match ratings against Lask, and it weren't nice to say that he was poor. He was like a 4 out of 10. So hopefully he can come into this game and actually come into this game, and then do his thing and get us the dub, man, and be a big part of that. So yeah. That's what we're hoping for, man. I really, really do hope, because I got high hopes for the guy, man. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, I agree. So yeah, we agree on the scores as well, then, man. So there you have it, people. Let us know in the comments what you guys think the score will be, what starting lineup that you would put in. And yeah, I mean, there is just one thing I want to touch on. Just aside from, no, sorry, was you going to say something about the game, man?
No, it wasn't. It was something else. But I let you go. I let you go. I let you go.
Oh,
'Cause
okay, well, it might be the same thing then, because I was going to say, obviously, this is a preview, but I did want to touch on, because this is the first time we're live since Lynch released the news today
Yeah.
that Liverpool are not interested in Andre in January. Now, again, it could be a smoke screen from the club. It could be, we've seen this before where we've said we're not interested in the player, but we still are. But if we're just going on the face value of what it is, disappointed to hear that, bruv. I mean, we've spoken about Andre offline at length. We both rate the guy. I'm probably a bit more enthusiastic about him playing the lone six than you are, but I know you still rate him. What's your feeling with this news that we're not interested?
Cow's curse. Nah. Cow has nothing to do with it. Cow has nothing to do with it, man. Nah. It's disappointing to hear. Look, I can't be doing conspiracy tinfoil hat sayings. You know, I don't know what's really going on, so I'm gonna be saying, going off of what has actually been said. And if we have gone out of the race, then look, disappointed, man. Great player, had a great performance in the Copa Libertadores, in my opinion. I think his passing was really good, aggressiveness, tackling, everything that sort of Jurgen Klopp was looking for in a six, and looking for when, and also missing when McAllister was playing as a six, is something that he possessed. And look, hearing this news is disappointing. And hopefully, if the face of it is true, we are looking for alternatives, because we can't be putting McAllister at six for the rest of the season. And if it's the fact that Endo was meant to be the six, I don't really have trust in Endo coming in and being our lone six for the entirety of the season, in my opinion. So I think going in for someone, and look, he's a talent. I'm going to say it straight up. He's a talented player. And I don't like to see anyone else have a talented player if we're linked with him. You get what I mean? So that's really the main real annoyance about this. And also the fact of the matter is, he's going to the Premier League, so another Premier League team is going to have him. And if he ends up bursting onto the scene and doing what he's meant to be doing, and repeating the performances that he's had with Fluminense for the last couple of years, then if we are looking for someone like him again, he's just going to cost 60 to 70 million pounds. And we're just going to look back and be like, we should have just gone in and get him from Fluminense. But
yeah, I tell you I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think this means we ain't buying anybody in January. I do. I think Robbo will be back by then, so we won't really see a need to buy a centre back. The emergence of Kwanzaa has been a revelation almost to a degree, and I truly believe in the kid. So I still believe that we do need another centre back, but I can understand with Kwanzaa's development and progression why Klopp might not. Well, for now anyway. In the summer will be a different scenario, but I mean in January.
Yeah, I think we'll get.
And then on top of that, bro, by then Besetic probably will be fit, and there's a part of me that's thinking that he will become the other player that can play in that role. And no, I'm just, bro, I don't think we're buying anyone.
But
I don't think Liverpool are making any additions to the squad in January. I don't.
The reason why I really don't like the fact that we're going to sort of bring back Besetic straight from injury. He's already had a stress-induced muscular injury or back injury. Like Stevie used to have it when he was younger, because he played about 30 to 40 games a season when he was like 21 or 22. I don't want to go and throw him back into the firing line when he's just come back an injury. I want us to ease him in. I want us to put less pressure on him.
Well, we would be easing him in if Endo does step up and starts to play more regular.
Yeah.
And then Besetic is an option. Do you get what I mean? And I think Klopp will probably think, well, McAllister can play there. Besetic is an option. If Endo picks up between now and January, I can see us just rolling with it. I can. I don't think we're going to make any additions in January. I'm struggling to think how many times under Klopp we've actually made a significant January transfer. I don't count 2021. That was injury forced, and it was on the last bloody day anyway, when we bought in the two centre backs. The Diaz one, fair enough, we did buy Diaz, but that was only because he was about to sign for Tottenham, I don't think
Would
we
you?
would have signed him if he wasn't going to Tottenham. We would have waited for the summer. Gakpo, we only signed him because he was about to go Man United, and
Yeah.
we made sure we got him because we didn't want him to go Man U. If not, I think he would have been a summer signing. So I'm trying to think about in the last 4 or 5
Verge.
years. I mean, but that was 5, 6 years ago now, though, isn't it? Like that was a lot. And again, even though that is true, we did buy him in January. It was supposed to happen in the summer, and we just effed
That
up.
was true. Yeah, we messed
So
up. Yeah,
we
yeah,
just,
100,
we were
100,
just,
yeah.
we were making up for the mistake we made in the
But
summer.
you could say the same thing with Andre, though. The fact that we obviously nothing's happened yet, but hypothetically, we went for him in the summer. He said, I can't move now because I've got Copa Libertadores. I want to win that. Then once that happens, then I'll leave. And then we're like, okay, fine. And then we might go back in January. We don't know. But
I mean, Ram, was it not more Liverpool heard it was half price if we wait until the tournament's over? So we thought, let's pay half price because that's what FSG do.
maybe.
I think Andre would have definitely took the transfer if Liverpool had paid the 48 million or whatever it was that would have got him in July. I can't imagine Andre going, nah, because at that point he doesn't even know how far they're going to get in the tournament. He could say no to Liverpool and then not even make the final, and he didn't move for no reason. Do you know what I mean? It's paid off now and it's brilliant. But at the time when you've still got about 3 rounds of the tournament left, you're probably thinking, well, we might not even make the final. So what if I say no and then I don't even?
Not unless
You know what I mean?
not unless he has amazing belief that it's going to happen, which he might have. But
I think it had a bit more to do with Liverpool thinking he'll be half price if we wait. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
One thing I would say though about the DM thing, even though we haven't got Andre, there's still so many available. Like I've had a little look of around, and then you guys mentioned Quadio Kone. I think that's someone to keep an eye on, because Liverpool were going to get him, but the injury with his MCL, linking to his MCL, was something that really put him off. So I think keep an eye on that on January. But look, there's other players around. Like I mentioned them yesterday. Like Luca Gurner was another one. Sally Erskine is another one. Anton Stack. There's obviously the boy that I told you about on Saturday, Ezequiel Fernandez for Boca. So yeah, there's players available.
Around, though.
He did, and he didn't really put any good. I won't say put any good performance, but put any good honest displays during the match. But also there's many players out there, and obviously Argentina as well. Federico Redondo is another one that I've been a massive fan of. Obviously, everyone knows Pups, which was obviously Sergio Redondo, who used to play for Real Madrid. So there's that as well. So look, there's players out there, man. Even if we don't get Andre, we do get Andre. There are many DMs out there that look really,
but are
good.
they top quality ones though, Ram? That's the problem.
Look, obviously compared to everyone else, I think it'll be a risk, either a bigger risk or more or less the same risk, in my opinion. I think if we look at Europe, look at the players around Europe, then it wouldn't be as big a risk. But if it's in South America, the likes of Fernandez and Redondo, then it's going to be a bigger risk because they haven't got the experience of Andre, in my opinion. But yeah, there's still players available out there, man. So I'm not going to be too worried. I won't be too worried.
Fair enough. I probably will be a little bit worried, but I think that'll be down to I don't think there's much options. I mean, I'm even looking at Sangara now at Forest, and I'm thinking that was someone we considered. And I know Forest aren't that great, but he don't look like him in the Premier League get on at all. I'm just like,
no, he don't.
There's just not, you know what I mean? I think there's a real lack of top quality DMs at the moment, or defensively minded midfielders, and Andre seems to be one of the new breed, and I just really think it's going to be a shame if we miss out on him. I really do. So
yeah, man,
it'll be
I
interesting.
Agree.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I agree, 100%.
And yeah, there's a little mini segment I might do. I might do it for the members. I might do it on the main channel. I'm not sure, but you know, there's a lot of people that were butthurt yesterday after me saying that I wouldn't swap Nunes for Osimhen. We're going to revisit this conversation. Yeah, we're going to revisit this conversation because even when we look at it from a statistical point of view, I just want some explanations as to why Osimhen is this head and shoulders above Nunes player. There's been a lot of butthurt people. You should have seen it. It's been interesting.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It tickles me and it makes me laugh, you know.
Yeah. I hate,
But
man.
we'll see when I decide to do that. Get ready for the stats and the facts. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Get ready for the stats and the facts, not the feelings. You know what I mean? But,
I don't know, man. I know the Kopish community. You know, sometimes when they hear the facts and the stats, it might not please them, but they might not agree with it. They add context to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So the Kopish community, they don't hold no bars, man. They will actually grill you. Man. They'll grill you there. But that's why we love them, innit?
Yeah. That's what we love. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean? So we keep it pushing. That's what the entertainment's for. International breaks coming up, innit? That might be a special good international break. You know what I mean?
100. Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, big up yourself, Ram. Let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. You can find me on the Ram Stand, my YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the comment section. On the road to 500 subscribers. It's growing little by little. Started to get in some content. Obviously, did a recent video about the looting game. So I don't any other mods who are in the chat right now who are subscribed to me, put the link to the channel, then you can get the people over there on the road to 500 subscribers as well, man. But yeah, definitely. I appreciate the time and I appreciate the opportunity as well, man.
Yeah, man, come on, bro. And obviously we will be putting a link to Ram's channel in the description as well, guys. So let's get him to 500 tonight, guys. Come on, man, let's get that done.
Appreciate it, man.
Big up everyone who's in the chat, all the regulars, Ends, man, Imran, Sadiq, Sam Max. Big up everyone, man. I know I'm not going to keep naming names. I'm going to forget someone and feel bad. So big up every single one who's been watching. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new people, and then we will be back tomorrow for there could be a slight issue, people, with the watch along based on the time. The weird thing about the 5 o'clock games is they clash with work. So it's like really difficult with that one. But we're going to see what we can do. We're going to try to think, people. But it's not a promise. Definitely for the match reaction. We'll be here for the match reaction 100%. But keep an eye out to see what we can do for the actual watch along itself. As always, you lot know we'll try our hardest to make sure we don't have to cancel that one. So we'll see how it goes. But let's get the W, man. Let's get this win. Let's qualify.
100%.
Avoid having to go into the playoff. And then we can be cozy until after Christmas when we go into the knockout stage. You know what I mean? So let's see how it goes.
Man.
Big up everyone for watching. And yeah, man, we'll catch you tomorrow at either for the watch along or definitely for the match reaction, people. Peace.
Peace.